What if the secret to human creativity, resilience, and mindfulness isn't locked in our brain's wiring, but forged in the crucible of how we live? For too long, we've romanticized neurodivergent people, those with autism, dyslexia, ADHD, as creative geniuses because of some right hemisphere magic. I'm calling that bluff. Their brilliance isn't a neurological gift handed down by nature. It's a hard-earned muscle built from navigating a world that doesn't fit them. And it's not just them. Our capacity for thought, awareness, and meaning is an infinite well, but most of us let it atrophy, seduced by a flattening ease I've dubbed the addiction to the absurd. Drawing from Keiji Nishitani's Basho, Friedrich Nietzsche's defiant yes to life, and the fiery tantric path of Vajrayana Buddhism, I argue that true awakening happens not in retreat, but in the chaotic, pulsing heart of existence, a place where neurodivergent minds thrive and the rest of us could learn to. So let's start with the neurodivergent edge. Picture a dyslexic person, someone like me, wrestling with text through the haze of astigmatism and Erland syndrome. Reading isn't a breeze. It's a workout. The world, built for normal, in quotes, normal brains, forces me to think harder, to decode, to adapt. Every day is a mental triathlon, and that grind doesn't just build character, it builds capacity. Compare that to the average, in quotes, person, coasting through a system designed for their defaults. They rarely stretch their minds unless crisis strikes. Say a grocery bill rings up $4 too high. For them, it's an anomaly. For me, it's Tuesday. This aligns with David Goggins' relentless truth. You're either growing or atrophying. Neurodivergent folks don't get a choice. They're in perpetual training, and that's why they shine. It's not brain magic. It's effort, necessity, practice. It's a skill. But this isn't just about neurodivergence. It's about all of us. We've been sold a lie that our ability to think dims with age, that cognition has a shelf life. I say no. It's not biology that betrays us. It's laziness, poor living, poor eating, poor thinking, or just not bothering. Kids learn fast because they have to. Their world demands it daily. Adults, we stop unless pushed. John Vervaeke might call this a meaning crisis, a loss of engagement with life's depth. But I see it as a failure of practice. The neurodivergent don't escape this demand. They live it. Their creativity and their awesomeness come from constant use, from a world that lies to them daily, forcing them to wrestle with it. Meanwhile, the average mind dulls, lulled by a too easy existence. Here's where Keiji Nishitani steps in with Basho. In Japanese, Basho means place, but for Nishitani, it's the existential field where self and world dissolve into each other. It's not a quiet corner. It's the raw stage of being, live, alive, messy, interconnected. In Religion and Nothingness, he frames it as absolute nothingness, shunyata. Not a void to fear, but a ground where meaning emerges when we let go of ego's illusions. I see Basho as my battlefield. As a Vajrayana Buddhist, I don't retreat to monastic silence. I dive into the fire. Giving tours in a bustling temple, I thrived. Not in the empty stillness, but amid the crowd, tracking my words, my audience, the energy. That's Basho, the place of battle where awareness sharpens, not in escape, but in presence. Nietzsche fuels this fire. His philosophy screams yes to life, amor fati, love of fate, even its chaos and pain. He's the warrior striding into Basho, not to dissolve, but to affirm. Where Nishitani sees selflessness in nothingness, Nietzsche forged the self that creates meaning through struggle. I feel that pulse. Life's a forge, and I'm the hammer. Neurodivergence just hands me heavier steel to swing. Together, they frame my stance. Basho as the arena. Nietzsche's will as the spark. No running away. Monasticism to me is cowardice. A beginner's crutch. Sitting on a cushion builds calm. Sure, but it's prep, not the point. The real practice is carrying that clarity into the storm. Vajrayana, Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, ties it all together. Unlike Zen's stillness or Theravada's restraint, Vajrayana dives into the world's chaos, wielding desire and energy as tools for awakening. Picture wrathful deities, fierce and alive, or visualizing yourself as a bodhisattva. Not escape, but to transform. That's my path, a Nietzschean Vajrayana hybrid, rooted in Basho. It's why I reject the empty temple vibe. A quiet place might soothe, but a packed one demands I stay sharp, seeing the self in others and others in the self. Mindfulness isn't a retreat. It's a practice we carry. Infinite if we work it. The Sanskrit term siddhi, supernormal powers, captures this. Not superheroes flying, but capacities honed through discipline, like a warrior's focus in battle. So why do we falter? Well, most teachings, Christian, Buddhist, whatever, flatten this truth through laziness, ignorance, or that addiction to the absurd. We're hooked on easy answers, not the grind of growth. Neurodivergent minds prove otherwise. Their brilliance isn't a quirk of fate, but a testament to what's possible when the world won't let you coast. We all have that. Well, we do. Cognition, mindfulness, meaning it's limitless if we tap it. Goggins was right. It's use it or lose it. Nishitani's Basho is the stage. Nietzsche's will, the fire. Vajrayana, the dance. I'm no monk fleeing to silence. I'm a warrior in the thick of it. And that's where awakening lives. And here's the kicker. This isn't just philosophy. It's faith. Tempered in the crucible of life. The French-Canadian anthem sings of valor tempered by faith, forged through struggle, a perfect echo of my path. In Vajrayana, every moment, every mess is a step to liberation. In Kabbalah, every spark is divine. Jazz it up, turn it around, it's all the same riff. Life's the forge, and we're the steel. Neurodivergent or not, we're shaped by the heat we face, not the quiet we flee. That's the infinite dance, a tempered faith, unbreakable, alive in the fire.